big moment for perhaps a little legend in the making. Maria Latos from Germany will referee this final. New Zealand against Australia to decide the Hong Kong title. Reese Pody Lane for New Zealand sends it away, and it's just spilled backwards off the hand for New Zealand. In fact, it was a knock-on for Australia, so New Zealand will get possession in the first chance to play with ball in hand. It's here with the captain, Sarah Hirini, who happy to engage in contact with Soraya Paki, but she's had it ripped away. That's great strength from Paki. She's a real enforcer in this Australian team. Here's the first touch for Bridget Clark, who's worked hard in the middle all weekend. Kiala Berryman-Duff goes to ground. And back it comes for Hines. Australia, first stolen possession. It's with Balanassa. She makes her way to ground. Clark up the middle. Lots of new faces, as I say, a new picture for New Zealand to contend with. Oh, it's physical from Felix Hotham, but Faith Nathan's done really well to get her team out of trouble, and that is a wonderful ball that's been ripped from Hines to Levi, and Madison Levi is going to be the first striker in this final. She is unstoppable.
And the unsung hero, Faith Nathan, is always there to save the day, Ricky, as she does. Rips that ball, and they just spin it out the long pass to the masterful one herself, Maddie Levi. Those iconic, or becoming iconic pink shoes. There you go.
She knows her job, and she does it time and time again. That's the 13th try this weekend for Madison Levi. Kick goes Australia though, 5 points to nil. New Zealand first in the, Australia, excuse me, first up in the final. Hines it was who threw that wonderful ball. Oh, well taken by Nuku, and a lot of traffic over there for New Zealand. So it's the team in black who have to respond. Remember, Australia has won both finals between these sides this year. Here goes Waka. Oh, she's got away from Clark. Stacey Waka doesn't have quite the same pace to be able to get on that outside, but she's got the patience to find a player in support. That's Pody Lane. And New Zealand backtracking a little bit. Miller, that a familiar ghosting run, arcing around the defenders, but Australia's defence standing firm at the moment. Hirini sits Hines down, and now Pody Lane, and she's got pace. They were all flat-footed, the Australian defence. Nathan chasing. Pody Lane's going to have to grit the teeth, but she's got the captain up the middle, cutting a track straight under the posts. Sarah Hirini responds for New Zealand.
And what an intelligent move by Pody Lane to get it back into the hands of Hirini. Hirini started this off just shrugging Hines off of her, and that's no easy feat. And then Pody Lane turns it on, and in the great support channel is Hirini to take it in under the sticks.
Pody Lane converts to give New Zealand the lead, 7 points to 5. It's already tit for tat in this final. It'll be a contest for possession that's fallen off the hands of Waka. Oh, that's crept up high from Hines. Play on at the moment though for New Zealand. That one knocked down in the tackle. They will go back to the high tackle, which is just going to be a penalty.
New Zealand here with the set piece. They can score virtually from anywhere, but on second take you see Hines just climbing up the neck of Georgia Miller, and she's so strong. Just a slide from under that.
Coach. 5. Set.
New Zealand in good attacking position just outside Australia's 22. Away scoots Pody Lane, looking for Felix Hotham to find a hole up the middle. Or just did enough in defence to Australia there. And then hands on the ball from Nasser. Superb. Absolutely superb breakdown work from Balanassa, the Aussie captain.
Yeah, Hirini's just there a fraction of a second too late. You saw her getting in there and fighting for the ball, but it had expired, that opportunity.
Some Was it maybe Pucky who just got enough on Felix Hotham to allow the cover to come across and get Nasser in there?
On the second take, you see Faith Nathan doing her thing. Yeah, just nicely timed.
Gee, they put their head in some dark places, these players. So Australia with the great defensive play. Oh, and now Miller's got advantage here for a tackle that dumps Nathan into the ground. There could be some trouble here for Georgia Miller. Going to have a second look at this perhaps, or referee's going to go to the side, and Georgia Miller could be in a bit of trouble. Well, I would suggest she is in trouble here.
Yeah. It appeared that her hips, Faith Nathan's hips, were above her shoulders, and that's a dangerous tackle. And she didn't take responsibility to place her down gently. She might have been able to avoid this.
Georgia Miller's already started to make a move to the sin bin, got that completely wrong, and has to take her medicine. She'll sit down for 2 minutes. Georgia Miller, so New Zealand down to 6 in this final.
And that's her second yellow card for the weekend, I believe.
Oh, better play. Yeah, time is back on.
Nathan up and about when she's going to tap. She has really conducted the strings here for Australia this weekend. Here's Break and Levi one-on-one. It's Levi who's thrown to ground by Break. But Australia will have numbers. New Zealand are going to have to work hard on defence with one less player. Nasser it is. Takes some meters up the middle. All hard meters when Bella Nasser makes them. Oh, mistake. Nathan came back in field, and quick little flat ball from Nuku. It just goes forward. I think the assistant referee has called it. Felix Hotham thinks she scored, but it's going to be called back.
No, you're still getting the scrum. But it was a forward pass.
It'll still be New Zealand possession, I think, from the knock-on. No advantage, but this one here.
Yeah, that was
no
slip work.
advantage, forward pass.
Just a little forward. 40 lane.
Time is off.
Australia are going to throw Piper Simons and Amali Halla into the action. The pink headgear on debut. Amali Halla has had a great fist of it as well.
Forward pass. Yeah, that's why we're coming back on the advantage. Steps done.
New Zealand still with Miller sitting in the sin bin.
Time is back on. Coach.
They will have the feed to the scrum though.
5.
Hard to attack with 6 as well.
10.
Australia try to put some pressure on. It comes away for Poldy Lane and goes to Nuku, looking to release Break. There's the ball out the hand. Oh, Nathan's going to chase Break here. The ball from Nuku was brilliant, and Break will have enough. Just enough to get in and extend New Zealand's lead while they're down a player. Manaya Nuku tried to flick ball one side. This time that one wasn't forward.
But Ricky, on second take, it worked well for Break. I tell you, this is exceptional play. That beautiful little underhand flick into the hands of the speedster, and there's just simply no stopping Michaela Break.
Poldy Lane from wide out to try and convert just on the stroke of half time. Won't be able to bring it around, so it'll be New Zealand 12, Australia 5. Time for the restart here. Still not enough time for New Zealand to get back to the full complement. Nathan it is who brings down the kickoff for Australia. Some ball in hand and a good flat ball and a nice punching line from Nasser.
No release.
Communication key, and away goes Kiala Duff. She's just stopped by Nuku. Another really good incursion from this Australian attack and line. New Zealand with one player short. Here's Halla, the debutante. Good tackle made on her. Poldy Lane over the top, Break underneath. Back it'll come out again to the open. Australia looking to get edge to edge, finding a hole in this New Zealand defensive line. And there's the switch, there's a hole for Levi, which she just hurdles her way between two defenders. She left black jerseys in her dust back on the 10-metre line. Leapt her way through, not illegally so in that instance. And Madison Levi with a critical strike on the stroke of halftime.
Well, I tell you, after that performance, the Australian track and field team may want to give that young lady a call, because that was a...
Plays 12, nothing separating New Zealand and Australia. Second half about to get underway. New Zealand restored to 7 players after the sin binning of Georgia Miller. Poldy Lane does well to bring that restart in and hit, and he mops up on the 22 for New Zealand. Oh, Miller's lost control of that though at the breakdown. Nasser's come through and once again pinched it away. The Australian captain. So Australia get first possession to really play, and they've shown a willingness to always want to play. Hala tries to, well, made the smart decision. That's an awkward dipping ball, really tough for Simons on that one. And so knock on Australia. New Zealand will have feed to the scrum.
Yeah, New Zealand just all over this Australian attack, closing this distance and giving them really no room to move, suffocating defense.
Okay, line up, please. Coach. Bind.
Veteran coach Corey Sweeney watching on. There's New Zealand vice captain Reece Pody Lane. This goes to crossfield and across field, and yeah, you heard stay Mini. Corey Sweeney. And it's gone backwards though. Mini being Michaela Brake's nickname. It hasn't gone backward, it's gone forwards. A knock on by New Zealand.
You don't often see errors made by New Zealand, or Australia for that matter. Pody Lane waiting a little too late to get this pass off. She underestimated Faith Nathan's ability to wrap her up and create that issue. And here he's just really not happy about that.
Australia and New Zealand have each won 2 titles this season. New Zealand's have come against USA and Fiji. Australia's have come against New Zealand, winning Dubai and Perth finals, which were both really tight, torrid affairs. Just as this one as well. Poldy Lane's quickest to the loose ball this time around, but it'll be a penalty for New Zealand as well. It's a real mess in there, a tangle of bodies. Miller wants to get going. New Zealand trying to raise the tempo and get themselves back in front. Felix Hotham change of direction. Oh, that's gone up high as well. Tell you what, there's a whole lot going on in this final. It's never a dull moment as Miller just drops the hits, and then the offload gets the return ball. But it's Australia who collect. Advantage was over New Zealand. His hands go in the air from the New Zealanders and on heads.
Unplayable. They were going last forward. Scrum. They were both considered tennis.
They're well trained though. Rather than retaliate, they just put their hands on their heads. You saw about 4 New Zealand players in frustration do that.
They are getting frustrated. You don't often see that frustration really showing on a few of those players like that. This young Australian team, as I said, it's something different with no Caslick, no Demi Hayes, among others. Of course, many others still rehabbing injuries as well. And all these new players, they are standing up for Australia in a massive cauldron. Way it comes for Faith Nathan again. She'll get sideways, looking to release Levi, or someone slipped and gone down for New Zealand. That's Nuku, and she's in trouble. So New Zealand with 6 in the line to defend again because a player's injured in back play, and it's Nasser trying to bustle and bust her way through. Oh, Miller's nicked it though, pinched.
No.
What a big play from Georgia Miller, just as Australia looked like they were ready to launch again. They have to go back out to the right. New Zealand with Stacey Walker and that footwork. This is all effort and energy and hustle and heart from both teams. Mahina Paul into the action for Poldy Lane. New Zealand have to come back in field. They don't want to head out towards the injured player and perhaps force the referee to blow the whistle. 3.5 minutes to go in this pulsating final. Miller. Oh, Georgia Miller has stood up Australia's defence and left them floundering.
And what a stunner she is. She was so instrumental in making all of that happen. See her turn the ball over. Ah, Georgia Miller, just fascinating. And then right here, ball in two hands, the dummy out, and the step in.
Importantly, around under the post as well, Georgia Miller. Yes, the conversion goes over too, so it's New Zealand who bounce out 19-12, a converted try the difference. Oh, Manaya Nuku down sometime. Had a really good tournament too as Nuku scored it from the field. So who's got the response this time for Australia? So many strike weapons. It's not that bad, babe, you're all good. Nice moments of levity in tense situations. Waka wins it back as Nathan eventually gets hold of it too. This bouncing, bobbling ball causing havoc, and somehow it's landed for New Zealand. Paul flicks the ball out for Setefano, who's carrying the war wounds of the weekend over the eye. Here's Miller again, and away she goes once more. They grasped at her. It's a typical searching, searing run, and Georgia Miller, look at the delight in that one from her.
And you talk about turning up and turning things around from that sin bin earlier. Wow, Georgia Miller has saved the day for New Zealand. Being fed a beautiful pass and just doing the things she does with joy and pride and finesse.
She said when they won in Vancouver, I love my team, I love my job, I love rugby. That is a 21-year-old living the dream in Hong Kong. New Zealand go out now, 26 points to 12. .90 seconds to play. Australia need to go, and they need it now. It's in the hands of Clark.
No.
Australia want to get it to the edge. Up the middle goes Nasser. Oh, Miller's on that too, is she? Yes, she is. What a second half she has had. And now she looks up at the clock. What a fierce competitor.
Here she goes again, Georgia Miller. I love it. Right there, in position. Everything's going her way. But she deserves it. She works so hard. And she's delivering so much service with a smile. Getting a break, coming out. Very happy.
Coach. Bye.
A minute to play now. New Zealand two-time winners here in Hong Kong. They look like they are on their way to a third and an extension of their lead at the top of the series. Here's tenacity into the action.
No goal.
This young, tough Australian team has been so good for this performance, but just a couple of big moments. And this player has come to the fore now. She's unleashing the full bag of tricks as well. Levi's gonna get another before we're done though. Break steaming across the field to try and cut her off. One-on-one, the two best in the game. Break, Levi, a kick ahead. Now it's the foot race we always want to see. Michaela Break wins it.
Into touch or touching goal? Into touch, line out.
That's good work, good defensive work. Heads up play by Michaela breaking Madison Levi's heart on that try, or attempted try. But she broke away, just slipped out of the defense. And look at this cover chase she's offering, just waiting.
Receiver, she's receiver.
The anticipation break had to see that
Gold ball, yeah.
Levi had made that bust. Man, she chewed up ground.
Take the gap.
Australia get thrown from the line out here because the ball was kick, touch and goal.
Thank you.
So they will get the last say. Nicholas. This has been another great match between these teams. It just gets better and better. Ruby Nicholas again tries to just force her way through by sheer will. Awkward at the breakdown, a lot of bodies on the floor, another penalty. And the final throws of this one. Out they go. New Zealand trying to keep their line intact in the final stages. It was 12 all at half-time, remember, and then 2 Georgia Miller tries in the second half. Ruby Nicholas again, Mackenzie Davis. Oh, she's got a great burst of speed. Look at that speed off the mark. What a fine final say it is for Mackenzie Davis. Too little, too late for Australia. A nice